This is the Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yeah, what's up?
Wyatt was looking at his table. I think there's something important on his table.
I was playing with piece of paper.
Oh, yeah,
So
there you go.
why it's a
I
cat?
have to like disassociate so that you don't make dumb faces at me, and I laughed during the intro.
I don't make dumb faces at you.
Your face is dumb.
I have a stupid face. I realize I'm like super zoomed in because my technology
Yeah,
hates
dude,
me
it's
today.
off-putting.
I know. If I had to look at his stupid face,
Yeah,
I'd be upset too.
yeah. Rob's got like natural lighting today, and it doesn't look like a walking corpse.
It looks like I have ginger hair.
Yeah,
I
maybe
get
you do.
mistaken for what do I do?
Maybe you do. I can't. I haven't seen you in so long. I can't tell.
Yes. Got
So
my got my red, white, and blue shirt on for America.
America.
Today's America Day.
So we got multiple events coming up to talk about tonight. We got a segment about 10th edition speculation, 11th edition
It's
apocalypse.
basically both.
Yeah.
They're not sold separately.
Hmm. And I guess what's today? Wednesday. So yesterday we got a new president. Is that accurate? I'm not caught up.
I guess technically this morning. So
This-
today,
Yeah.
Today,
still,
today we
yeah,
got a new president.
the early morning.
I would say, on a personal note, this is the least dramatic uh, presidential race I've experienced in a long time.
I'm okay with that though.
Yeah, I like this is not that dramatic right now. So,
Mhm.
and I live in Florida where like shit gets wild out here.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. All the stuff I learned in school, and every time we have a presidential election, president elect, inauguration is the 20th.
Can't confirm.
Can't confirm. I'm dumb. Civics
Well,
bad.
well. I don't know if it's that.
Mm-hmm. But let's roll out to our Peabody Award-winning segment. Let's go into the Cave of Wonders and touch nothing but the.
Would you rather never be able to sell anything you purchase, or be forced to sell everything that you purchase within 5 years?
Damn. And I mean, that's like a full-time job because if I'm forced
Yeah.
to sell it, like that means I have to find a buyer, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I have to like actively be working toward that? And I'm on a timer. Like, let's say I don't get the sale in 5 years in my
Oh,
Shadow Realm.
that's
I mean,
funny.
I'm sure there's like a grace period that you get for trying,
Okay, that's fair.
but you can't just like, oh, I tried, and then like just give up and then keep the shit anyways. Like you have to sell it.
Okay,
And then like you have a
you're a
grace
hoarder
period of
or a
like
pauper.
when you're able to get money for it, and then if like you just physically can't ever sell that item, it just ceases to exist.
Oh, so like at some point it's vanishing from my
Yeah,
like in 5 years it's gone.
but if you refuse to try to sell it, then Shadow Realm.
Now, in the scenario where
Hmm.
I can never sell again, can I throw it away?
I'd say like yeah, but you can't like game it anyway.
Like I want a new light arm for my table, and my old one works well. Not allowed to sell it to anyone or throw it away because it's perfectly functioning.
Yeah,
Can't donate it to Goodwill. It's perfectly functioning.
I'd say like there's some loopholes, kind of like something like that, you know.
Being
I mean,
forced
it's all based on intent, right? So if you're gaming the system, they'll know.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be able to sell stuff. Or on a personal note, exact. But simultaneously, it's a little frustrating that I can't have anything for more than 5 years.
Hmm.
It's like I like some of my things. Yeah, I have to go with the sell. Like I have to. So I have to keep a ledger, or like shit in my environment just randomly just start vanishing.
Well, I mean, if you forget and don't try to sell it at Shadow Realm, it's like you do have to stay on top
One
of
day,
it.
okay, with my you know what? With my ADHD, I don't think I got a chance that. I'm 100% gonna end up in the fucking Shadow Realm.
It's gonna be
That's not
midstream, and then you wake up in the Shadow Realm like, I forgot to sell something. God
Yep, I
damn it.
have no idea what it was. Like, damn it, fuck, can't sell anything. Go the other route.
feel like do the one that best fits your affliction.
Is it retroactive? Like, I have a
Hmm.
lot of stuff. Like starting today, 5 year timer begins today.
I would say anything that you bought in the last 5 years counts.
If I bought something 5 years
Hmm.
ago and I don't sell it this afternoon, I'm a fucked.
Yeah, but no. Like that's your grace period. So anything that you purchased in the last 5 years, timer starts as soon as you accept the bet.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
like I technically, as far as the
So like
bets,
your car you've had for like 15 years, so that doesn't count.
so it counts as I just bought it today.
No. It doesn't count.
So everything, so I actually, so technically don't own anything according to this fucking wish
You could
right
put
now.
it in a trust, and then you technically don't own anything.
So he's saying like my current set of possessions are not a part of
Your
this.
current set of possessions, but anything that you bought in the last 5 years becomes eligible as soon as you accept. But anything you've owned for longer than that is safe.
So I have to start moving quick.
Well, yeah.
Fuck. Will the genie give me like do me a solid on like this first round of shit? Will he give me like a magic ledger of all the things I need to start trying to sell? Like just one time deal? Like,
Sure.
cause I have
You
no
you
fucking
can have
clue.
a notebook.
And I get a magic notebook of like, here's the things that you need to start actively trying to sell tomorrow, son.
Does this apply to digital goods, subscriptions? What are we talking?
I mean, subscription services don't count. You don't own
Hmm.
those.
So you can stream music.
Yeah. No, so like, yeah, I guess I'm selling things. As long as I get this magic notebook and I can start fresh, and this actually might organize my life because fear of being banished to the shadow realm is pretty strong, you know, form of Adderall.
So you gonna go with the sell everything every 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one?
Can't sell anything ever.
Oh, the hoarder.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Zen will have ever kept a 40K army longer than 5 years? No. That's not what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the minutia, dude. I know I mostly get rid of most shit anyway. Like, I don't really keep things very long. It's the fact that I'm really bad at keeping track of stuff is the issue.
I think. Hmm. I think if you were forced to never be able to sell it, but you could give it away to charity or what?
Yeah.
I guess you'd be more selective in what you actually bought, you know?
Yeah. You're a pauper, like K.R. Quinn said. He's like, you're a hoarder or a pauper.
I mean, as long as it doesn't like get out of control, like where it's like a hazmat issue.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna live super smart, dude. After a while, you can be like, you know what, this is exhausting. But I have like 8 things. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I probably have a little bit more than 8, but
I mean, yeah, I mean, okay, 9 things.
you definitely wouldn't buy stuff to like invest in it. Like, oh, this is gonna go up. Like, who cares?
I can't sell it.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it goes up or down.
Fuck, I have so much dumb shit I gotta start selling.
Does it spark joy? I think that's healthier. That's probably a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, once you get past the first hurdle, like I'd say the first few years are gonna be pretty rough. But then once you
Eh,
reset your life, you're gonna be like, shame, dude.
yeah.
I'm with it.
We give so much stuff away.
Like,
to like charity.
yeah, I'm gonna live in a tent, dude.
I
that I
don't know about
borrow.
that.
like a borrowed tent that I pay rent on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's something.
All right, let's kick it over to Rob for the news. Well, what's kicking, man? What's all the excitement about?
And Games Workshop put out one article each day this week. There is no excitement. Not even Games Workshop has anything to talk. But what I did notice was, and I forgot about this in the intro, they basically bribe their shareholders. Have you guys seen this?
No.
I might be one of the only
Bro, I
people
haven't
that
seen
noticed.
anything.
So remember when I talked about back in September when they announced that their sales were in line with expectations, air quotes, which is, I guess you could say that's the corporate world's version of, we knew it wasn't going to do that well, so it didn't do that well. Like the whole Skaven and AOS 4th edition release. You guys probably remember it because summer was boring as fuck because it was like 2 months between 40K releases.
Skaven shit? Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Yeah. Well, so GW normally in September, they're like, last year, they're like, hey, we made too much money. Here's a dividend. And they gave out a dividend to all their shareholders, right? So this year, this time around in September, they're like, this is kind of okay. No dividend. And then at their managers meeting, they took a vote and they said, hey, we want to give all ourselves a raise. What do you think, guys? And the shareholders were like, well, like almost 30% of them were like, fuck no. You didn't even give us a dividend. Of course, I'm paraphrasing to make it more interesting. So then they came back and they're like, oh, we don't know why we don't know why some of our shareholders are so mad at us. We're gonna follow up with them and we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna work things out with these shareholders. By these shareholders, majority shareholder, remember, Vanguard, BlackRock, and some other UK firm I don't know anything about. So, all right, cool. Fast forward to October, and out of nowhere, Games Workshop's like, hey guys, it's time for a dividend. 85 pence. Bam. Made it rain. 85, I mean, if you're not in the UK money, 85 pence is basically like 85 cents.
Hmm.
The one last year where they had too much money and they had to issue a dividend was 50 cents. So this was more dividend than that, hey, we have too much money. Does this make any sense to anybody? I mean, just the timeline I laid out seems a little sus. It seems like they're trying to smooth things over with ye old shareholders.
Wait, did they just give like each dude 85 cents per share? I don't get it.
Yeah. So in September, they're like, things weren't so good, no dividend. And then they're like, hey, let's call a vote. We want to raise. And a bunch of shareholders were like, we don't like that. No, that doesn't work for
So
us.
they gave him. So what? They're trying to like.
So then they're like, we're gonna follow up with these people and find out what their issues are, why they didn't think we deserved our raise. And then the very next month, out of nowhere, in October, seemingly totally unprompted, they gave out an 85 pence dividend to all shareholders after saying there would be no dividend because sales were in line with expectations, air quotes.
What shows you that they just make shit up. I mean, their explanations are made up.
Well,
Like
sure,
the
it's all
money's the
corporate
money,
speak.
but the narrative they wrap around it is fiction. So they fictionalized to their shareholders the acquisition of these profits, and how valuable they are. So when they got called out on wanting to give themselves raises, they gave out an even more lucrative dividend.
I
Yeah.
mean,
But somebody signed off on that without realizing, like, that was more than last time we gave dividends. This time our narrative was we didn't have any money.
right. They went from saying 1 month, they're like, we don't have any money for you.
Ah, Garrett Quinn, I love you. He says all finances made up, including money. Just saying.
100%.
Facts.
They went from saying, we don't have any money to give you to we would like a raise.
We don't have any money, but we kind of have money for a raise. And then people are like, yo, no, fuck that. Okay, it turns out we had even more money to give you than last time we said we had.
And the next month, yes, we
So
have more.
they're lying. I mean, like, it's some classic bullshit right there. Some textbook bullshit.
I mean, it's typical. Like
Yeah, that's not an isolated event. That's
Games Workshop is 100%. I mean, by this singular example, it seems like Games Workshop is beholden to their investors, which is a bad place to be for hobbyists.
Like
Just
as
the
I
point,
said, you know, as it's been mentioned by other economists and stuff like that, like when a company starts as like a campus and then it just starts vertically turning into a skyscraper, it gets
Right.
further and further from what made it what it is today.
Yes.
GW's done a reasonably decent job of staying tight. You know, we still have a tight game, we still have tight models, we have tight IP, but you know, it's undoubtedly getting further and further from our expectation. So it's a good update, man. Thanks.
I think it was just kind of interesting just to kind of peel back the whole like, well, what is GW, is GW really like just in it for the money? And I mean,
Yeah, man. Box office smash after box office smash, dude. Like, we can't. Like, we've already proven that, like, our opinions of how they run their business are stupid.
doesn't matter.
We don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Like, they keep crushing it, dude.
They do. And I mean, they're literally building, asking to build another factory before the current factory they needed for expansion is even built. And you could argue the slowdown in releases might just be because they anticipated, a lot of sales from the whole Space Marine 2, and then maybe the show on Amazon, the one-off show in December that's going to drop. Maybe they expect a lot of increase in, interest or purchases and things, and they just wanted to make sure that the whole system wasn't overwhelmed. I don't know. I can't speak to that, but that seems like a smart play.
As someone in chat mentioned, Mephistos is already allocated internally for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else we got? What else is breaking?
Well, they're a product, independent product wise. They got the Lucent hobby lights back in stock. Yet, if you haven't picked one of these up from
Game Envy.
Game Envy, yep. You've probably seen this like everywhere by now.
The fucking
A
slap.
lot of the trade.
The price is right.
Yep.
They got a twofer. They've got. Let me tell you, man. Like, I've worked with a lot of different companies over the years. Red Grass Games is one of their first guys. I love Red Grass Games. Right. They even hooked me up with one of their lights, and they were even like, "Look, we didn't even give one of these out to anyone yet, like at all. But you were like the first guy I believed in our brand. You have one. I have one. I didn't pay for it. I have it. It's like $220. It's sick. I love their wet palette. It's sick. They're one of the first. I've always repped them, and I still do. I think they're a great brand. They make good product, but the problem is the prices don't add up. The prices don't add up, and I'd much rather back an American company who manufactures and makes shit here. That's why I back Monument Hobbies and stuff over anyone else, aside from the exceptional product, right? Like, because also America's had this problem recently where like the shit we fabricate is not tight. Like,
yeah.
So like, for example, that's why I don't really like. I'm not a huge fan of like Badger airbrushes versus like, German airbrushes and Japanese airbrushes. Like, but Game Envy fucking slaps. They make all the same kind of stuff that Redgrass makes here in the United States. Plus, the stuff that they don't necessarily make or fabricate in the United States, like a light, for example, which no one is really fabricating their own light. They're using other people's parts. So that's normal in the industry. In the industry, theirs is just enough different and unique than the ones you buy on Amazon, with just enough different features, with just enough of a good price
Hmm.
to be an absolutely superior product with massive amounts of utility. Whereas the red grass one, very powerful, very impressive stats, very long arm, doesn't articulate, doesn't do anything. It just shoots
Um,
down a fucking massive ray of light that you can dim from far away with all this like technical shit I don't understand about why it's a better light than this light, which it's not. My eyes. So I've got 3 of the Game Envy lights in my because they're such a good fucking deal, man.
Yeah, for the price, you really can't beat it, and the fact that it's all tested, it all works, and getting that in, designing that, getting it all worked, and adding the extra stuff to it that he did for the larger range of light instead of the straight down light,
Yeah, it's
because
got 2 arms that
yeah,
that go different directions with 2 sets of staging the lights, dimmer by temperature, everything, dude. I was like, this just
hmm
slaps, dude.
yeah, I think it's solid. I mean, he goes through shipments of them. Like, I won't see, because we get affiliate sales off it, and I won't see a thing for a while, and I'll be like, why have I not gotten an email about it? And I'll go and look, and it's out of stock, and I'm like, and then I know it's back in stock when I start getting the emails about it, that there was a sale, because I'm like, oh, it must be back in stock, and I'll push it. I'll put the review back out and push it out and everything, because it is a really good product. And I think just for the customizability of the arms is pretty clutch. But
There's a
yes,
lot
they
of
are back in
it's
stock.
got like there's a similar lights on Amazon that are like
Mm,
for sure. Like and
mhm.
you can see where like the base model of their design comes from.
Yeah,
Like
it's not the same though.
it's not the same, but you can see like
Right.
because none of them are the same. That you create a deal with the manufacturer. You enter into a contract with them, and
Yep.
you modify their product and put your logo on it, and then work out a big ass deal for fucking fulfillment. Like that's how this shit works, man. And like so
Mhm.
you can get a pretty similar light on Amazon, but theirs is enough better than that pretty similar light to totally justify why it costs a little more and why they had sick deals for buying 2.
Yep.
And Go Boy says he's got them too. We bought the 2 for like
Yep. The two for is where it at,
so
because
that's
I mean it's
awesome. Shout
still.
out Game Envy and their I think their exemplar web palette shipped.
Yep, the Kickstarter. I think I talked to him on Friday. They still had like 3,000 of those things to ship out, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like,
It's my
that's a.
favorite. That's my favorite web palette because I like a smaller web palette.
Mm-hmm. They got customizable
I
ones.
want a very small one that takes up very little desk space with
Oh, that
just an
reminds me.
infinite supply of fucking butcher's paper. And I just want to like use it and be done with it. I don't like this. I don't like to use a web palette to like save my paint progress for a week,
Mhm.
like people talk about. Like, no, I like it because it hydrates the paint at the similar rate to evaporation occurs, and I like to make my blends on it. That's it. Like, and so the new shit, the small one, fucking love it. I got the one I have, Rob, is their fucking production 3D printed one. I don't even have the real
Oh,
one.
oh, damn.
Yeah, because I wanted one for my new Beats Lab, and they're like, they haven't shipped them yet, but we got one of our fucking fake ones. You want it? I was like, yeah, dude.
Oh, I wonder if
So I have
that's
one of
what
the
this
fake ones.
is. Oh, well, I don't remember when I got this one, but you can see
Yeah,
they're all different sizes
the
now.
smallest
But
one. That's my favorite one,
yeah, this thing, I mean, it doesn't take up that much space.
dude.
It's
That's what I
it's
have, dude. I have that
it's
shit
like
right here.
basically it's like the size of a portable game system in the
Hmm.
90s. Um, the other thing too I wanted to show you, because this is hilarious. You remember that paint palette G came out with, the what is this thing? The Servo Skull paint palette.
No, I have no fucking recollection of that.
So they put out that they got this little
Oh my god, that thing's amazing. I want that.
Skull paint palette,
Wait,
super
is
thin.
that silicone?
Yeah, it's silicone.
That's awesome. That's a great little thing.
It's $15, but you can get this big from Turbo Dork. They made their own bigger ones that fit in the exemplar paint palette. So you can get the big chonky with all the wells and everything,
I
and it'll
love that.
go.
I love having
It,
like the little egg crate dealies to do other things. You know what I mean?
I just feel it just feels, and it actually subs out for
Yeah, you put it in that little top piece. Yeah.
yeah. So you can
So
it
they're making
literally
add-ons
fits.
for it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a super neat add-on that they work together on. But I mean, I'm pretty sure this is cheaper than the G Dub, the the paint palette here, and it's it's definitely a little chunkier. It doesn't feel this feels like I would accidentally rip it.
That's too thin.
Yeah. I mean
I
it's
love
cool
the
looking.
shape. I love that it's a servo skull. That's fucking awesome.
It's on brand, but it's just not. I don't feel like it's got a good life
No,
longevity behind
it's
it.
flimsy. GW makes some bangers sometimes, and then makes some garbage sometimes. Like the GW model holder is like secretly amazing,
Yeah.
and the price on it is like one of the only times in the history of GW they're like where it's like underpriced.
But I'm
Like,
not even sure you can get those
no,
anymore.
I've got students that have like 12 of them. They're like, yeah, I just bought 12.
Yeah. Oh, they sold them in 6 packs.
Yeah,
Like
like
they knew what was up. They knew what was coming. You know what I really like too, and I don't know where mine is, but that the paint palette with just the sheets of paper, but it's not paper.
yeah, that's one of GW's best products too. Is that they have that wax paper
Yeah,
palette.
the wax paper. But this is replacing it. This actually replaced it.
They're not selling those anymore.
Nope.
Fuck.
I know. Get
That's
them
what
while
I
you can.
use. That's what I like.
I
Yeah,
know. Get them
that's
while you
actually
can
one of
find
their
it.
secretly like for their paints
God
for their
damn.
paint system and their paints and yeah, that's a good
Yep.
product. That sucks that they're discontinuing it. They're just probably trying to be more eco-sustainable with the silicone.
Yeah, I think
Reusable.
it has something to do with that.
Man,
He also
fuck that,
get
dude. I want my cool painted palette paper.
I agree with you, man. I would much rather have the paper than the fucking servo skull.
yep, same. Um, Game Envy has a new brush set coming out or already out as well.
That's one thing I
So
have not been impressed with Game Envy. Like they're one of my favorite sponsors, and like I love them. I rep them so hard,
mhm.
but I haven't been impressed by their brush game yet. It just seems like it's just normal like Kolinsky Sable brushes with their logo on it. Is what's different about these?
I don't know. He said they're better than the
Okay, so
existing
they're better
ones.
than the Kolinsky Sable with their logo on it. So I'd be interested to get my hands on some, see how they feel.
Yeah, me too. I was like, yo, send me a set when you got one. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But I don't know much else about it. But if he says they're better, I mean,
Thing is,
he would know.
everyone's got to sell as much stuff as they can these days in our
Right.
space. So it's unlikely that Game Envy is going to be able to compete with like Monument Hobbies on the Pro
No.
Synth. It's
I mean, they're
unlikely.
they're literally making like what goes into making those
Yep.
brushes. Like they're
They literally
artisan.
like got this like old school like German scholar who has like a family owned brush making machine to like send the machine over and train them for the next 5 years so they can fucking make their own brushes. Like that's you can't compete with that. That's
No,
because they make paints and brushes, dude. They're the fucking experts, right?
that's their thing. Like
So,
that's what they're gonna do.
but you got to sell everything straight up. You just got to. And so that's why we take the time here on the podcast to share with you guys like what we've discovered that
Mhm.
works through our expertise and contact building and relationships that we forged with some of these companies over the last like 15 years.
Oh yeah.
So like Game Envy is my top pick right now for hobby holders and wet palettes and game aids like that.
Everybody's got their thing that they're good at, right? And shockingly, one of his best sellers is those tubes that his brushes come in.
Yeah, those
He,
are
he
great.
they're I don't know if I have one to show it off, but it's basically a plastic tube with oh yeah, is this one? Yeah, here's
Mephiston
one.
9 and Chatty asks, what's the best brush in your opinion? For the dollar to effective usage and longevity ratio, I do consider the Monument Hobbies Pro Synth line as the best for the dollar. Now, that doesn't make it the best brush. You can get like a Raphael,
Yeah.
like spend twice as much. I'm not gonna lie, that brush is better. like,
I mean, it's like it's how much how much money. Like, do you want the $200 red grass
Mhm.
light? Do you want the $200, you know, set of brushes? It just depends on what you're comfortable with. There is stuff that works just as good
Yeah.
that's cheaper.
And their brushes are
See.
really priced well, very
Yeah.
well made. And the Pro Synth line specifically, their synthetic sable is like my top shit. You get the whole set, from the six and get the 6 all the way down to the X10. That is a
Yep.
6. I only use a 6, a 4, and an X10. I only use those 3. Like the biggest, the smallest, and the one in between.
Thank you.
See, I actually don't like synthetic brushes.
Neither do I
So-
until he made me use his, and then I was like, whatever you guys are doing is different than other synthetic brushes.
I like painting with synthetics, and I like using natural brushes for washes. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah,
That's just what
that
I
makes
like.
sense. Well, like natural brushes retain more moisture. Period.
Yeah.
So like their barrel is gonna hold a bigger load for a
Yeah,
longer
it is.
paint session,
Yeah.
straight up. And whereas a synthetic will hold less. But if a synthetic is, and synthetics are notorious for hooking, right? That's one of the reasons we don't like them. They hook over time.
Plastic.
Yeah, it's plastic. Well, since we had the sable hair shortage, which actually happened during COVID, there
Yeah,
was
'cause they
actually a
put down-
weasel pandemic too.
Yep.
We had like a problem with getting quality sable brushes, and so people started really putting down the R&D on the synthetic sable, not a synth, like not just a plastic brush, but how do we emulate sable? And a lot of advancement came out since 2019 to now, and people like Monument Hobbies have been at the forefront of that. So I was super skeptical, and he had me using
Mhm.
his number 4, which is relatively thick boy. And I was doing
Oh, yeah.
lines with that brush that I could not believe I was doing. I was like, all right. And he had me doing it live. He was like joking on me, Wyatt, when it happened.
Yeah, you would.
He was joking on me. He's like, you can't do this shit. You can't. I was drawing checkers on a fucking land speeder, dude. Shit. I was like, what the fuck? Because it does still hold moisture, not as much, but it's kind of at this sweet spot where like you could deploy like a more low moisture mix to get that straighter line and that edge without that fail rate, with more fail rate mitigation of like being like maybe you're someone who's not a good painter or you're not there yet in your brush pressure. And so like the lack of moisture absorption and deployment will actually be a fail rate mitigator while you're making mistakes. So
Mhm.
that's the only synthetic brush I endorse. Is just that one. Because 99% of them are not tight. 100%. I like them more than his sable brushes.
This is that brush tube plastic with little rubber
I
stoppers
love
on the
those,
end.
dude. To store brushes
See,
in,
these
that's
things
just
are
tight.
money. You can put all sorts of stuff in this. But yeah, he sells those at cons, so they're super good seller for him, he said. I want to talk about 2 other products real quick. One of them we don't have in the studio. So Turbo Dork on Halloween came out with a super new color called Emerald Nightmare, which I said to him, I was like, "Yo, that'd be good for Master Chief for the the new Halo game." And he's like, "No, actually, there's another color you want to use that's in our new line, but I forget what he said. I gotta go look.
He's
at
got
it.
a Master Chief green.
Are they paying you for this, Rob?
No, I
Okay.
mean he sends me stuff so I can use it and talk about
Alright.
it.
Turbo Dark is trash. Don't buy that shit, dude.
I tend
mean,
to
that's-
agree with Wyatt on this.
That's
That
up
is
to
the-
you. I
that
mean,
is
if you want
the
the
most
color,
garbage paint I've ever attempted to use.
Now, do they make
So
paints
bad.
that aren't just like metallic colors now?
I believe he's working on some of that.
Because
But
that's
here,
I work with
he
the
did
guy when he
reformulate
first
all
came
the
out, and I
stuff.
was just like, look, and I think it's mostly my opinion of like I don't like metallic colors, so I can't speak to like the metallic colors fan base. Like, it seems like all that paint is it's like painting with fluorescent paint. It's not good paint.
Mhm.
It's hard to paint with. So
It's
that's
not-
it's already frustrating, but also I just don't like metallic colors outside of the traditional like silvers and golds, like the traditional like range. Like I think they don't look good on the 32mm scale. And so
yeah, that's one of the things. You need a lot of surface area,
yeah, it
and
needs to
there
be
has
big.
to be
It needs to be like a car,
contours.
like not a car, but like there's a reason why
Yeah.
that paint looks sick on cars and not sick on
Right.
models.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
so he did reformulate his whole line, and that's why they're in these new bottles. Which brings up an interesting point. He has thousands of the old bottles left over with little shaker balls in them. Super good deal for like 50 of them. I think it's like $10 or
Empty
something.
bottles with shakers in them.
Yeah, and they're really good quality bottles too. And they got
They
them
look
on.
like vape bottles. It's funny.
Yeah, they do look like they bottles.
They do look
They
at
have the
yeah.
same tip on it. Open the cap.
Is that vape? Does it have a little
Is it a
stick
vape,
in
is
it?
it a vape bottle?
I'm pretty sure.
Does it have a little stick in it? Like, how do you deploy
tiny
the
little
paint?
stem?
Uh, actually, I haven't opened up this one.
Yeah, does it have a stem?
I don't want to get this shit all over my keyboard.
Yeah,
here.
don't spill it on your shit.
I'm
And it's
pretty
services.
sure.
There's specific things they're good for. But yeah, like I agree. I just don't. But I don't think that thing is.
Oh, it's sealed. That's why.
I don't think that. I don't think that's on the 32 millimeter scale though.
Yeah, no.
Oh, it is a vape bottle. It's straight up a vape bottle.
100%, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. It works for them. But yeah, I mean, is it for everybody? No.
My
Is it a
love of
different way
turbo, my
painting?
love of turbo dork just went up a couple notches because of that.
It is a different way of painting. It won't look good for some things in the miniature hobby space,
You
but
just,
it'll
like,
look
in the
really
sentence
good
that
for
it
a
won't look
lot
good.
of them, a lot of specific.
Like if you did
things,
like the next tier above what we do,
You'd like Gunpla and
Yeah.
you airbrush it. It
Yeah.
actually does.
That
look
actually
cool.
looks
a
sick.
lot of action figures,
candy
and,
coated
like,
gunpla looks good. Like
yeah. Check out their Instagram first. He's got all sorts of pictures on there. The stuff this stuff looks really good on. Action figures, gunpla, Hot Wheels cars, slightly bigger car model kits. Now he did come out with this, which I think is interesting because this was a problem. Is you can't brush a lot of these paints on, but you can now with the thinning medium supposedly. Haven't tried it yet.
I don't believe that.
I know, haven't tried it yet, but he's very adamant about it. 5 drops paint, 1 drop of thinning medium for hand brushing. Worth
well,
a try.
I like the professionalism that he's coming at and the meticulousness of like things like this. So anybody like words of wisdom in a 32 millimeter scale, you're probably not gonna have success with it, especially since you can't brush it on very well. But they do have a solution for it. But if you're doing something a little
Now they have
bigger
a
than what we're
solution.
doing, and you have like a candy coat paint job in mind, they're
Well,
probably
that's-
the best option because like we
Yeah.
don't have a lot of good candy coat like metallic colors options in the current miniature world.
I agree. It's not for everybody and it's not for everything, but there's some stuff it's really good for. And we'll
Speaking of
kinda
Master
figure it
Chief,
out.
I got my set of Master Chief models from.
Have you
19
played it?
Sick.
Have I played it?
Yeah.
No, man.
What the hell?
I don't play shit, dude. I just fucking paint minis, dude.
I'm waiting for mine.
I never played a game
Eagerly
before it came
awaiting
out
the
live, dude.
release. You got like what 10 days at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually
so-
ordered I pre-ordered I got this. I think I'm gonna give the demo thing to one of my writers because he was interested in it. But I pre-ordered the big box and the paint set with you gotta get
That's
the
what I'm
Master
getting.
Chief.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered the Wave 2 stuff as well.
I was waiting because I wanna see how it all works together. Like I don't have the rules for like all that stuff that comes in the big box. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think you
Maybe.
need like the full thing to get all the rules and booklets
Yeah.
and
Or maybe they'll drop something day one. I don't 100% know yet, but
I talked to our store guy and he
Mhm.
said they are gonna get store stock for the release.
That's good.
But he said he wasn't like exactly quite sure how much the inventory they're gonna have.
Well, I mean, it's already sold out, so it's good that it's a good precedent that it's already sold out, the initial run and stuff. So
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm excited for it. I love skirmish games in general, and I love
Mhm.
Halo, and the models they're dope. Rules are tight.
yep.
So like if you haven't seen anybody play it, I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of YouTube videos out already, but I did demo the game at Adepticon, and the game itself is dope. So
That's
I highly
solid.
recommend.
But most stores uh should have a demo and be doing demos. So definitely
yeah.
check that out.
Mephiston in chat called me out. He said, "You played 40K with me years ago."
Uh-oh.
Calling me out on my I haven't played 40K. Look, I
I
only
believe
play
we've
40K.
we've played once or twice too.
Well, Jet, look at this cat. Got a cat.
This cat's like
cat on screen.
infiltrated the room.
Remember that one time I was at your house for a month and he got out?
Yeah. It was not
Got
it was not
outside.
cool. Thanks for bringing up that trauma. I appreciate you.
Aw.
I like how quickly you mentally had moved on though. You're like, if it happened, it happened. You had bigger
you have
fists to front.
Yeah, dude, I'm recovering from surgery. And
Mhm.
it's just like, I mean, I love my cats, but at the same time, there's like the forces of nature. They're animals. So it's like if your cat gets out and they're gone for a certain amount of time, you just kind of have to, it's like, well, that's the
Circle of
circle of
life.
life, dude. That's what happens, you know?
Sink or swim.
Yeah, I'm so glad you got out of that fucking shitty apartment complex though. That was so frustrating, man. Like somebody like literally opened that door.
Oh
And a
yeah.
cop came over and
The
was
cop was
like,
like, somebody picked this lock.
yeah.
And
He's
the
like, look,
apartment
I
lady
can
was
see the
like,
tool
no.
marks. I can see where they put their hands in the dust. Like, and the apartment complex is like, oh, why you just let the door open? That's what happened. Luckily, Jack, Jack was the first one to come back.
Yeah.
Remember, I came back and he was just sitting in the bushes in front of the window, like,
He's a little
meow,
baby.
meow, meow. And I was on the phone with my girlfriend, who I'm dating right now. At the time, we were new in our relationship, just dating, and she was like, "Is he out there? Get his ass!" And like I was walking around looking for these cats with her on the phone, like on fucking WhatsApp video call, looking around for the cats. Like she was highly invested in their
Where's
retrieval
Waldo?
of these fucking cats.
Aw.
She's a huge fan of Oren's.
Aw.
Yep. I'm
Well,
glad they made
also,
the move, and everyone's happy now. Speaking
yeah.
of the move, this weekend the big event, right, is Cali Cup.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the move.
I'm gonna be out there this weekend. I'm flying tomorrow. Last year, their inaugural year, I was a commentator. I had to fly out there again. Remember, like, cause like I used to live in Los Angeles, guys, and so like I
Wasn't
was
a big deal.
initially gonna like had a deal to just drive there and do a little commentating, but then like my sudden move and all this stuff happened. I remember Steven Corrales like calling me and he was like, "Man, you still coming though, right, dude?" Yeah, man. And like our deal still stands. I will achieve my obligation, and I flew out there. It was a great time. Hung out with the boys. We did a great. It was a great commentating gig. I got to hang out. Natalie was my co-host. J15 was the producer, showrunner, right?
Mm-hmm.
It slapped. So that time of year has come again. This time though, like Wyatt's gonna be out there living there.
Yep.
That's awesome. And I found out today, unfortunately, Natalie can't make it. She has some kind of family emergency. So I've got a new co-host, Chris Wallace. Is that who I told you about earlier today?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, Chris Wallace, OG from XPZ. So you guys tune in over the course of the weekend. There's gonna be live coverage. I'll definitely introduce my stream key to the mix so that it'll also be covered on one of our platforms here at least. But looking forward. It was a phenomenal event last year. Phenomenal. Top five. Like just well
Mm-hmm.
done. You know, grilling food, people happy, competitive 40K, and a beautiful time of year in San Diego, man. So I'm looking forward to being out there this weekend. And
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun.
speaking of
Hopefully
being so
the
much
weather.
fun, like Wyatt's actually playing in this bitch.
Yeah, dude. Stoked.
What are you running?
Which one of your factions you bringing?
So I'm gonna try out the Space Wolves tech that we've been scheming up. So it's either gonna go fine or it's gonna fall on its face. I don't know. We'll see. Supposedly,
Supposedly it
Space Wolves,
slaps.
yeah, supposedly like on paper it slaps. And I've been getting some practice games trying to get my wits about me. I mean, like a lot of places have said that Space Wolves is one of the higher tier armies post MFM, and they're doing pretty good. And so like I'm looking forward to using it. And if not, then like I have stuff on the back burner. But like I'm the only person there repping Space Wolves. So we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be tight. I can't wait to see how you do. Hopefully, you're up on the big table. Uh, Now, right after that, right? So we got this event. Everyone's flying home Monday.
Then BolterCon.
I've got I've got a family obligation on Tuesday. I'm gonna stream on Tuesday. Podcast Wednesday. And we're back on planes going to BolterCon.
Yeah, dude.
Bro. This is wild, man. So like that's Bolters at Dawn. We talked about this months and months ago. I went out there for a private painting course for the Bolters at Dawn crew. I've been doing like tele judging for them since COVID started. They have a phenomenal game club, and they've been running just like an indie grassroots GT every year. Just Holiday Inn, about 100 people show up, and it's just such a good group of guys. And I said I'll go, and Wyatt's like, well, "Fuck it, you sold me," and he's gonna go. Then like Matt was like, "Fuck it, you sold me, I'm gonna go." Then Arthur was
son
like,
of a
"Fuck it,
bitch,
you
I'm
sold
in."
me, I'm gonna yeah." So like before you now it's all we need is Rob, and it's like the Long War hangout now. But Rob unfortunately had something come up and he can't. But you were close, right?
I was. There's some doctor appointment to reschedule. It's like February. And I'm like, that doesn't work for
If you
me.
got something you gotta take care of, that's not gonna work, dude.
I was like, this is my, this is my 1 year and something else that I got to do. And like, you
You
can't
got
be
some
rescheduling.
stuff you gotta handle, and you ain't trying to
I
wait
mean,
till
if,
February.
it's different if you could schedule it like 2 weeks. Like, I didn't think it was going to be a thing, but everything's so jammed up out here. It's like stupid.
Oh yeah, we went through similar thing. That's one of the reasons I had to show up at Wyatt's crib in February. Because you were trying to remember, you were trying like it was back to back with something I was doing. What was it?
Oh.
It was right after. Was it right after Adepticon?
I think it was
No, right
after
before.
LVO, and then
Oh, it
there
was
was
right
another
after LVO.
Yeah, it
I
was
had
right
just
after
got COVID, and you were
Yeah.
like, "I can't." Like, I'll see if I can push it. And then you were like, "I can't." They said I can get this surgery in like April. So like,
Yeah.
you can't fuck around with that shit. Like you gotta move shit. You gotta make shit happen. 100%. So unfortunately,
Very
Rob
sad.
won't be there. But a big part of like where of the meat and potato of the Long War doubles event.
I think Arthur's going. He's
Arthur's gonna
finishes
go. He's the
finish
brains of
his
the whole
army,
operation
and
when we
then
do the big shit. And Matt has
Felix said he
done
might go.
spreadsheeting for us before for LVO.
Mm-hmm.
He came in clutch. So like we're gonna have a good old time down there. It's gonna be Cincinnati. So anybody reasonably local, it's the Midwest. So it's like a mall, right? It's like a shopping mall, right? Like you can get anywhere just walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
So if you're relatively local to Cincinnati, Google Bolters at Dawn, come by, see what's up. And his Ogre says, I'll probably come up Saturday for a couple hours, check in, crack open a bottle. That's right. And it's Ogre.
There you go.
We're doing the Doers. We talked about it.
Doer's good.
It was good. Well, I said I wanted that signature, Doer signature. Fuck yeah. And also, I'm bringing my secret girlfriend. So.
Oh, that is happening?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
So she's coming with me to Cincinnati.
I got to show off the this Squishmallow collection you sent me.
I showed it to her.
No,
she was instantly jealous, even though you saw hers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're incomparable, but she was like, I don't have all those Pokemon as Squishmallow. Fuck. She was like super butthurt and jealous.
Yeah, that Snorlax is a chunk.
We went to a thrift store today that posted on fucking Facebook that they had Squishmallows, and we went there about 5 today. Like,
nice.
Oh damn. They're basically like the new Beanie Babies.
Yeah, that's what I told the lady at the store. She said, why is everyone coming in for these? The old lady working at the thrift store. I was like, they're like Beanie Babies. She's like, oh, okay. She's like, should I buy some of these? I was like, 100%. Retire with these. Oh boy said Matt, Arthur, and Felix. Now that's gonna be a good time. Yeah, that's a fucking
about to get wild.
It's a group of dudes.
Hey, I want to talk about one more product that we actually don't have, but hopefully next week we'll have them. Baron of Dice came out with precision casino style dice, but they're the normal size, 16 mil, instead of like the chunky 19.
It's hella rare, dude.
And supposedly they're pretty precise, like 1 to 3 millimeter precision. I don't know what that means, but I want to get them in my hot little hands and have some
That
fun.
means if
them.
you stack them like a tower, that's their deviation.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense then. So I'm pretty stoked about those because the biggest problem with the casino dice is when you roll them, they usually like will destroy anything they hit.
Yeah, because they're huge.
Yeah. So like these, you could roll a handful. Like I bought 20. They come in sets of 10.
Was that like the 30mm size dice? Was that
What, the
16 is
big
the little
ones?
one, right?
Yeah, 16 is the little one. Well, they're normal, whatever their normal size is. I don't have any handy. The normal bear and a dice size dice.
Like standard dice that most people are used to that are like the bigger size, not the smaller size.
Right. Like you get, like with all the GW games, you get a 12mm dice, like the little ones. And then these are 16. So these are like the size that GW sells in packs
Oh,
with
fuck
like
yeah.
logos. So they're the same
So
size as
16. Yeah, I
those.
get it. That makes sense.
Right. So you can
Or
roll
18
like
maybe?
20.
Is that 16?
No, they're 16. So you can roll these like comfortably, and you could have a
And a
little
bunch of them.
tray, or a bunch of them, more
More
because I
than
remember
4.
seeing Kenny with 20 of these things, the casino ones, like both hands throwing them
Bro,
and
I
then
had a
destroying
squad.
the
I
table.
remember I had this demon army, and I had
Yep.
75 attacks with my seekers or my seekers. I had 75 casino dice exactly in a cigar box. Like, this is it, and it was all rending on 6s. So I was just like, blah, 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 blah. This, bro, you can hear it anywhere in the convention hall. Pre-neoprene mat era.
Yep.
It was a problem.
Destroying anything they touch.
Dog, just like smash explosion. Now,
Yeah.
now making them smaller, and now that we play on mats, like this sounds so good. Shout out to Tiger Strike Painting in the chat. We were just talking about you, bro.
Oh, there it is.
Altars at Dawn. This in 2 weeks.
Some people live in the same state.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so we'll let you know next week. I'm sure me and Wyatt will have our dices by then. See how they are.
Yeah. I mean, I got the shipping confirmation today, so I'm kind of
I don't
hoping
know
that
if
I
I
get them
did.
for this tournament. That would be sick.
That would be sick.
For next week, yeah, maybe.
No, for this one.
Yeah, if he gets them by Friday, you can at least play them. You can at least play them.
Yeah.
You think they come that quick?
I mean, I already got the shipping confirmation.
If they're in the mail tomorrow, might be
I
able to
guess
play
they-
them Saturday,
Yeah, I guess so.
Friday even. Shit, I feel like we kind of put down a lot of good content without having to dig into 10th edition speculation today.
Oh man, that's super clickbait.
So, one more thing, then a commercial break. Big Warhammer Championships. That's also
Oh, yeah,
WCW,
the
man.
19th. No, 21st to 24th,
So we got this month is Zacked, son. Like,
and then it's then the
yeah,
next
it's
weekend it's
Thanksgiving
Black
and
Friday.
fucking Christmas, dog. Like, we're done.
Yeah.
Go wrap this bitch up.
Oh yeah, are we gonna? We're not gonna stream on the 27th. I wouldn't imagine.
No, we
'cause
never
it's like-
stream over over Thanksgiving. It's nonsense. Well, normally we podcast on Thanksgiving, but it does the same thing. You podcast.
Yeah, there's no point doing
it's
that
the
on
same
Wednesday
thing. Like, you know,
before Thanksgiving. People are traveling or coming back home.
Well, and our podcast releases on Thanksgiving. It's the same shit, dude. Like, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we got stuff to do. So, like,
Yeah, 100%. Do we take December off? I forget.
we work into December, and we typically come together to decide when our last stream will be.
Oh, okay.
So we usually play that by year. We're not there yet.
I'm not there yet.
So let's take a quick commercial break. Let's talk about our sponsors, and then let's come back and see how fast we can talk about some 10th edition nonsense. And we're back. Rob Baer, you wrote a spicy article. I mean, you didn't write it. AI wrote it, but talk about
I mean, obviously.
it.
Well, it was a little bit of speculation / rumors about the big GW slowdown, because there's still quite a bit of codexes to come out. And if they kept bringing them out at the same pace, we kind of would have been out of codexes by like summer next of 2025 when there's still another year. So we've seen patterns, with Death Guard coming out, Thousand Suns coming out at the tail end. What, last year, last edition, we saw 2022, we saw the Votan come out, and everybody remember They got FAQ before they were even out.
It's very controversial. Yes. They came out with that stupid video.
Yeah.
God, I hated that shit. Like that
What a
was when
look.
like we had this like rules team that was putting out really good meta watch articles and videos. And I was like feeling really good about the edition. Then you had
Yep.
like the marketing team or some shit, like listening to everyone bitch on the internet, and then they came out with that stupid like James Workshop video, and I was just like, bro, that's just like a slap in the face to the fucking rules team, who's over here talking about like, yeah, but like let's see how it plays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, bro, let shit be OP for a week. Who cares, man? That's how.
I mean, everything is OP when it comes out. So
That's the better game state.
yeah, because then they can throttle it back.
Yeah.
But
If you come at it limp, then you don't even know what to fix because no one's playing any of it.
right, then now you're playing in a vacuum, and that just gets weird. But we saw Votan. We knew World Eaters were on the way. We knew Guard was on the way, and they all just kind of threw it all out real quick, rolled it into 10th, with some Arcs of Omen or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Shit that
Dude, I miss the campaign books. I thought that was such a great idea of like, rather than, because like, so the whole release cycle, right, is they want to regularly inject hype and like fluidity into the meta to keep things fresh, right?
Yeah.
Usually the only way to do that is to release a new codex or to do something like the MFM or the balanced data slate. Whereas the campaign books were like, okay, we're in this period between like big things. Here's this cool like lore book where the lore nerds can geek out. It's got this dope art in it. It's got this interesting campaign for the people who want to do campaign stuff. And if you're one of these three factions, you get a new detachment with like a handful of stratagems and a handful of upgrades. And it's like, oh, did you want to play like a faction where it's just Baller Sarius and all of his, his homies? Do that. You want to do Fabulous Bill and the Emperor's Children with his like, Frankenstein monsters? Like, do that. It was cool.
Yeah.
It's funny because we were always concerned because ever since the formation era, like 7th,
Oh yeah.
we get kind of nervous when they start doing things that look similar, right? And it's only in hindsight truly understand where the spice of this game comes from. And it is certain that just the field manual, just the data slate updates, which are very awesome and necessary for the fucking health of a game. That's not spicy. It's healthy, but we need spice too, man. So these campaign books were like season mechanics and shit. Right? You know what I mean? Like it was like spice, dude.
Because the problem we have right now is that there's not enough. Yeah, it's stagnant. There's not enough player expression. Like a lot of factions are like, if you don't do XYZ, it like there's no point in playing this at tournaments because you're just gonna get pounded into the dirt, right?
But if you got a new campaign book coming out,
exactly.
Yeah, new War of the Spider drop. You know what I mean? Like,
and I gotta say, like, I'm about to sound like a real boomer right now, but I was looking at the Arcane Journal for Old Worlds for the dwarf stuff, and I'm like, this is honestly something that I miss greatly in 40K, where it's like you have regular way, like the regular vanilla way to play dwarves, right? And then it's like if you do Expeditionary Force, you get XYZ army-wide rules, a slight modification to your force work table, and like these two minor little things. Or you can do the Royal Clans, and you get XYZ army rules, a slight modification to your force work table, and a couple of minor little things. I'm like, God damn, I miss having that in 40K.
You know what? We talked about this before. It's because we don't get the scheme anymore. Even though it's a bunch of stuff that when you look at it isolated, it looks amazing. Like the way we do the game now, where we don't have a force work chart, it's amazing. Looks amazing on paper. Like all we're doing is trying to make that happen anyway. take
I mean,
whatever.
yeah, like Force Org is its own thing. But
But
what I mean by that
when
is
we
like,
had a Force Org, right, where you had like when you to your point where like I want to do this, these are my obligatories and this is my limitations, or that like even though there is a limit there, it's not as and I'm still trying to get to the end result if I take whatever I want. I got to scheme to get to that conclusion.
yeah, dude.
And that's just taken from me because now that I can just do whatever the fuck I want, it's not as
Yeah,
spicy.
dude. And
But
this thing, it
anyway,
was like, oh, if you play, I don't know, whatever, like Imperial Fists, you get this cool thing for being Imperial Fists. Like,
so I don't
I
know
don't
if
know.
we're gonna go back to that because I still do think it's superior to play right now while we do with like attach like
Well,
army rules that are kind of like color of marine agnostic. You know what I mean?
I mean,
mhm.
that's fine, right?
That's
That's
fine.
like a niche example, but it's like, dude, it was like in ninth edition, the Chaos Space Marine book, it wasn't like OP, but it was so fun to play because there were so many different things that you could do. And part of that was, faction secondaries, which we know are bad, yada yada. But by like playing as the Black Legion, you got this cool shit. By playing as the Emperor's Children, you got this cool shit. By playing as Red Corsairs, you got this cool shit.
Right.
And you got to play whatever you wanted, but you were rewarded for doing this one thing, right? And flavor is what people call that quite a bit. And it's like, yes, the rules are streamlined, it's easier to understand, but the armies and the detachments and the way that we field our stuff lacks the flavor that it used to, and it's kind of boring.
Which brings us to the point where in this cycle, Rob, that you've speculated on, we're due for mix up.
Well, I think it could be a mix up, but I think the mix up is happening right now with the slowdown potentially. And we know there's a couple of codexes on the way in the early 2025, but I think we're still going to see a similar release like we saw, with World Eaters and Death Guard and Thousand Suns over the past 6 to 8 years, is towards the end of the edition or towards, the year, a year left or whatever, because they're going to maybe potentially do those campaign books towards the end, like we've seen in the past, Psychic Awakening, Arcs of Omen, etc., where we see new Primarchs come out. Oh, and then they got to fight, and then new Chaos Legion, Emperor's Children. Like maybe they'll just roll out the launch box and keep slow rolling releases, and then we'll see, everything else kind of come out over the next year into 2026. Who knows? But that's kind of the rumor right now. I mean, obviously, a lot of folks are really interested in getting their hands on like, the actual Eldar, uh, book, or the actual Votan book. They've always been spicy.
But this mix up though is 11th edition.
Well, yeah, I mean, 11th edition by GW's timetable that they put out for themselves will come out in summer 2026. And as we've seen in the past, of course, uh, this time was a reset on the rule sets and things. But as we saw in previous
8th edition was
editions,
the first new edition of Warhammer 40K since 3rd edition. That meaning that was the first time that your codexes didn't work anymore. They expired. We
right?
needed an index, meaning a list of units and their points so we could still play the goddamn game. Right? That's how
Yep.
3rd dropped. So 8th was the first time we had a new edition. So we went to index 40K. And 8th was Wild West, baby. And then
Mhm.
that led us to 9th.
Which
And
was
ninth,
about the same,
so all the codexes that started dropping in 8th were still legal in 9th.
right?
So
There was no index
it
cards.
wasn't a new edition if you could still play the rules from the last
Mhm.
edition. So it was a streamlining of every cumulative FAQ, every cumulative update, everything we figured out. It was a streamlining of all of that into a new main rulebook. And 9th was amazing. And a lot of what we just talked about was 9th.
Yep.
And so now we're in 10th. That was a reset. It's the first new edition since 8th. So we are due for a streamlining 11th prior
Right.
to the next reset. And that's a great cycle. It's very healthy. Gives them an out because 8th was fun because it was new, but that shit was problematic as fuck for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of house rules are being homebrewed and that's a lot of shit was going down because that shit was when we were playing Maelstrom missions. I mean, this shit was wacky, dude.
Yeah, it was wacky. But I think the biggest complaint is, we kind of covered it. You can't crack out, you can't super customize your lists. But if that's the biggest complaint in 10th,
If they just streamline that back in, yeah.
I mean, they could, they might not, but there'll be something. There'll be some twist. Maybe they'll figure out flyers. How cool would that be?
God, they've been trying to make that shit work for way too long.
Way too long.
Way too fucking long, dude.
Just cut your losses, take those out. It's dumb.
Yeah, just fucking fuck it.
I mean, if Dave Legends enough other shit at this point.
Dude, I would be erect if they were like Flyers and Legends. I'm like, ah! You fuck.
You know, look at that crap keyword, dude.
Oh, wow. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, there's definitely some excitement on the horizon still. We'll probably see some previews here in 2 weeks at the World Championships of Warhammer. Hopefully something to do, maybe elaborating more on what we'll see with the next 3 codexes out of the chute. Maybe a little bit more about Emperor's Children or the Death Corps model lineup, which would be nice because there's been a lot of new art for the Death Riders. So it'd be cool if they did get the new mounts at the very least, or
the new mount slap, like
some cool looking trench coat Ogren. I don't know.
I get by that.
That'd be cool too. But I don't know, just my thoughts. I think we'll see a lot more rumors as they get close. But these days it's not very hard to be like, oh, what could we get in the Emperor's Children Codex? And you could just go down it's like a wish list at this point, what you might see. New Space Wolves, what you might see. So are they rumors? Are they just wish listing?
I mean, it's almost
a little both.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty knowable grid at this point. So
I'm
stoked. So this is it. Until next week, right? So we'll be at Cali Cup this weekend. Live coverage. One more podcast. Then we'll be at BolterCon. So guys, remember, check the airwaves, xbz.com. Check their Discord. I'm sure I'll be streaming on Next Level Painting while we're out there commentating. Let's rally around this event and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Might even see your boy Wyatt on camera. Sure, I can arrange that for at least game 1.
I don't know. Dude, I'm pretty shaky with these Space Wolf rules right now.
Don't worry. I cut your audio whenever you sound dumb and I just start talking.
Yeah, it's tight. Fake it till you make it, dude. That's kind of what
I'm in it. Oh, let's go.
You're like, me not know what Space Wolf Man do. And I'm like, and so let's talk to our boy Chris. Chris, what do you think Wyatt's thinking right now?
He's thinking, man, I really forgot my rules.
Honestly, I don't even think I need to remember them because you just have the app and I'll just be like, what does Logan do? Let me look. Okay, he does this.
Wolfman go brr.
Yeah,
Fucking love him.
Yeah.
That's right, man. That's right. Carriquid's that's what friends are for, dude.
Yep.
All right, well, let's cash out. Good show, guys. Wyatt, you want to take us out of here?
Rob?
I'm going to take us out of here, but not because you asked, because I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, buddy.
So that's it for this one. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Make sure you head on over to thelongwar.net for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.